Hi everyone, today I finally decided to try out the building tools. My island looked like a deserted island, like a desert, like nothing, because I haven't done anything yet. So today, for the first time, I decided to try to experiment with the different tools. First of all, the deformation tool, to see how they work. Obviously, I ruined everything. My island just looks like a mess, but I didn't care because I'm gonna build something from scratch anyway. Now, as a new Animal Crossing player, of course, I have something to say. Uh, the first thing is regarding my experience with the different design tools. You know, you're going to build your island, you're going to design things, you're going to transform your island to something, that you're going to make, you call your own. And then, of course, there are plenty of tools for you to utilize here. But the problem is that those tools are so counterproductive. I mean, as a developer and a web designer, I'm used for having tools that developers trying to make them as productive as possible, so you can do things fast rather than being counterproductive and make you waste time. By wasting time, I mean things you can actually do. If you want to do, for example, one thing, here it will take you so many steps, and because there's also the extra animation, which I personally like, uh, for everything there's more couple seconds lost. So if you want to put something instead of something, you first gonna remove the thing, and then you're gonna put the new thing on top of it. And because of the animation, it takes seconds, and of course this accumulates to minutes and even hours, and you can find yourself spending a lot of time on this. For example, things like changing the tiles. I've decided one time to just try certain tiles, and then I decided to change that. At the time, now listen, maybe I get something wrong, yeah? You can also correct me. But if I wanted to change those tiles, I need to do it from the beginning. This is like, I don't know, like another half an hour work. It depends how much tiles I'm actually putting, yeah? So I actually asked in Reddit whether I can just change the tiles and change the custom tile, and then it's going to change to all the instances. And they told me that if I created inside the Nook phone, create texture from scratch, then actually it will happen. But of course, I need to do a design myself. And I look into the designing tools. I don't want to do it pixel by pixel on the phone. I actually want to import some images and do some stuff in external software. And then you can only do this manually, and if you bring something manually to the switch, you can actually then edit it. It's not even counted as yours. I mean, it counts as yours, but you can't edit it. So you can only edit those textures if you actually start from scratch in the editor on your Nook phone. Now that's put a lot of limitation, and eventually I decided just to use what I have right now, and that's it for now. Maybe I'm going to use the one that actually import using QR codes, or GUID code, so I can use other people's texture. And which I actually use one. If you saw the previous scene, I actually used one that I imported from another person. So definitely seeing how those tools are so counterproductive, this make me rethink about how much effort I'm going to put into it. Unfortunately, it's not that I'm not going to spend time and create something, but I'm not gonna create the things that I really wanted to create, using everything with my own textures. So we'll see. Now, I actually wanted design. I went into design of creating kind of imperial palace. It's all inspired by many places, events. When I was in Japan, I spent in Japan last year like 7 months in total. And for example, the Fire Festival, I'm gonna bring elements from this one, the Imperial Palace, places from Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka, Imeji Castle, many of those places, and try to create something that combines most of those elements. Now, I personally enjoy having space. I don't like tight streets, even in this game. I know that you have a relatively limited space, but some of the main areas I'm gonna do, like give them space, like this one, which will lead eventually to an imperial castle at the end. There's gonna be some interesting stuff. What you see here is just, again, this is just scratch me just trying to experiment with the tools, with what I have, to see how things look, but it's gonna be completely different. And of course I need to move houses. All the houses are going to move, which will cost me a lot. I wish I knew it before, but I didn't have another direction before, so it doesn't matter. So each time I need to move a house, I need to pay like 50 grand. Alright, no problem, 50 buzz. I'll do this. So definitely I enjoy doing this, making this island on my own, but definitely the tools are really not that good in my opinion. Now, it's not that people are not creating amazing stuff with it, but the thing is that, again, it's not that productive. Like, I want to create many things, experiment with many things, and because I know that it takes so much time to do things and replace things, I might not replace something, or, you know, I might just design things differently than I have to and take some shortcuts and not care completely about certain things, because part of the things we design that I like to experiment, delete, do again, delete, do again, delete, do again. But this type of things that you can easily do in video editing, photo editing stuff, and even other crafting games, here it's kind of cumbersome to use for me. But if you have tips where I can improve it, by all means, please share it with me, because my experience comes with just playing the game, and of course asking in Reddit some questions and seeing whether people can give me some tips about how to make the best of what I have. Now, of course, there's also the limitation of the items, but of course there are tons of limitations when it comes to items, especially at the moment where I'm right now. But I'm going to use what I have, and I try to make the island feel really interesting. And I really like it. I told you, open space. I don't like the fences which are open completely. I like transparency. I don't like, for example, street lamps, because I think they are boring. So I decided to use, for example, fire. I'm going to replace it later on, but I prefer this one, something that looks really incredible at night. So I try to make something that get me really excited, and instead of using tons of different textures and colors, try to have kind of a unified design. Although I'm going to create some interesting Japanese gardens, which are going to look very unique and interesting. So it's going to be something interesting, and I might combine some other textures with what I have now. But again, what you're seeing is just a draft. I'm just playing around, trying to see how things are actually playing around, and then I'm going to make changes. Not too much, because it's going to take so much time. So this is it. These are my initial impressions. And regarding the tools, they're not that positive, unfortunately. But I'm happy to learn, and of course, it doesn't mean that I can't create great things. It's going to take a lot of time. But eventually, I think I'm going to create something that looks cool and I'm satisfied with. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm just starting out, so when you're just starting out, things are a bit difficult. It's hard to understand, and I'm new to the game. But maybe I should, I can understand people who are pre-visualizing things and creating a plan way before they even start playing the game. So just go ahead and just build things. They know exactly what they do, because just testing things here in this game is very inconvenient from what I can tell. So this is it. Share your opinion, and if you have some tips, by all means, please, I'm happy to listen, because it's hard for me to get into it right now, and I'm trying my best to make sure that I optimize my time correctly and build things correctly, so I don't need to either pay many of bells to change things, or just delete so many things because I made something wrong which I didn't actually realize beforehand. So this is it. Hope you enjoyed this video. More coming. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Cheers.